855-5563.
It's the Joe Messina Show.
Welcome back to another session of Sanity right here on the Joe Messina Show. It's a pleasure to have you with us. I do appreciate the time you're spending with us. There is many of us on the air, texting, tweeting, truly being part of the conversation, part of the solution. Hope you guys, had a great Memorial Day without me. I know, I almost cried. I missed you guys. Anyway, always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution, be on the winning team, as I like to say. Seriously. And truly, the best way to do that is to get informed to the point where you can actually speak to people with fact. Let them know what the fact is in a case. Let them know what the facts are about some of the issues that are going down. Right? I mean, that's simple. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Again, get involved, get engaged. Make sure you have the info you need. If you want to head over to mypillow.com, use promo code Joe. Save some money. You can save 30 to 70% off. All right? And Daddy's Day is coming up. Come on, do something for Dad. I don't care, slippers, bathrobes, pillowcase. And guys, don't make fun. The sheets are fantastic. They really are. And it's a great, a great way to support guys like me, if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to support me, so be it. But at least still get product from somebody who fights for your rights, who puts money into these situations or money into these, projects that should make life better for you, not worse. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. All right, so head over to mypillow.com, promo code Joe. Check it out. Doesn't pain you to window shop, as they used to say. All right? Okay. I love this. So, I don't know. Maybe the woke tide is turning. Maybe people are truly getting a little irritated with it. I've been so wrong about this. I kept saying people are not going to put up with it. This is ridiculous. I'm sure they'll step up at some point in time. No. Really that simple. I don't know if people are too lazy to engage. I don't know if they just don't understand really what it ultimately means. But you see what's happening now in the education system and other places because you sat back and you waited. It's just wrong. Well, the woke tide is turning, according to a recent article. Moms for Liberty boss heralds a U.S. court ruling after the event shut down over misgendering. Right now, Moms for Liberty Yolo County Chair Beth Bourne, she's heralded a court ruling in the favor of the group. A California county will pay $70,000 in damages to settle a lawsuit filed by the activist group. Other women's groups were involved too. After a librarian had shut down their women's sports forum for misgendering trans athletes. So this librarian heard what was going on, didn't like it, and tried to shut them down. Now, speaking on GBN America, Bourne said that the ruling heralds a turning. You're seeing the tide kind of turn against the woke. I think people have had it. It was kind of cute and funny at first. Yeah, they'll never take. And then when they start doing surgery on 12-year-olds, they went, whoa, wait a minute. Didn't know you were going to go this far. Didn't know you were that far gone that you would go this far. Right? I got people here in completely blue state, blue city in California. Right? They're going to these people, again, a blue state, hardcore blue state. Going up to the Moms of Liberty and saying, God bless you guys for doing this. This was wrong. I'm glad you won. And I think the more noise you make, the more you see really, truly what's going on. Look, it's not just them saying something happened. Now the court has affirmed that not only did it happen, but there needs to be some penalty for it. Now, Bourne's Blue area, right, references a callback to the Democrat area individuals, the party that generally adopt a more liberal approach to issues. Not anymore. No. They have now adopted Gestapo-ish kind of processes and policies. This is what you do. This is how you do. This is what you're up against. And they don't care. I tell you, I have friends in Sacramento, California that tell me they know some of these laws that they're passing are unconstitutional. They're banking on the fact that you won't get off your butt, find an attorney to send them to the Supreme Court or take them that far. Just nuts. Tomorrow, the California, or one of the committees, will be trying to stop a bill that would give parental notification. And they talk about how dangerous it is and how much danger the trans groups are in. I'm telling you, the science, the numbers don't prove it out. It's a scare tactic they use. They want you to be afraid. They say we do it. They're experts at it. Anyway, as part of the settlement, Yolo County will also revise its library policy to ensure that staff and others won't interfere with presentations, right, or other speech by individuals or groups that have reserved meeting rooms. In other words, once I get that meeting room, it's for me. It's not for you to decide what I speak about in it. No disruptive behavior. No starting a generator outside the room, you know. It's just nuts. And again, these things get worse as time goes on if you don't push back. Brad Dacus joins us. We'll be here in a minute.
And that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health.
Joe, that was my fault. The PC took a dump, and I had to do some magic.
But it's also true that people are
We just
way
need
more
to know it's always
satisfied after making this.
I could live with that.
Member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Okay, I'm talking funny because I'm in the witness protection program. I have too much credit card debt and I don't want people to find me.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about credit card debt. Right, those plastic things that we all have in our wallet. Are you in your 50s or 60s and you're still carrying around a mound of credit card debt? Wouldn't it be nice to start banking that money and save a little money for retirement down the road? We help people restructure their credit card debt all the time. We show people how they can get out of credit credit card debt in months, not years. Listen, you'll be carrying around credit card debt for the rest of your life unless you deal with it right now. We offer a free consultation so you can learn how you can finally wipe out your credit card debt and start saving money. Give us a free call right now.
Call Debt Solutions Network now. 866-451-3328. 866-451-3328. That's 866-451-3328.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go
Sorry,
to
we are unable to
omahasteaks.com and
complete
use
your
promo
call at
code
this time.
TREAT at
Please
checkout
try
to get
again
an
later.
extra $20 off your order plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. That's 800-871-3291.
Last night never happened, and I'm going to marry him, and you and I are going to take this to our coffin.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I'm in love with you.
Snap out of it!
They call me Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick, chicky, boom, chick, chicky, boom. Yes, sir, I'm Cuban Pete.
We are back. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-ROJO, 855-732-5563. Look, people, get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. It's the only way you win. We win when you get involved. We win when you do the right thing. We win when you push back. When you don't push back, when you don't open your mouth, when you don't try to make changes, we all lose. Is that really what you want? Seriously? Anyway, always appreciate your time with me. And let me bring him on. Brad Dacus, he's the founder of Pacific Justice Institute, a great organization that helps protect your rights and protect the rights of your children. Helps you make sure that you don't have the big bad gov come in and try to take your kids away from you when they have no right to be in there. And he tells you or helps you maneuver the system. And anyway, Brad, always a pleasure to have you with me.
Oh, thank you, Joe. It's always a pleasure being on your show.
All right, so let's see if you had some fun today. You know that the Trump case today. I guess the attorneys were able to do their summary at the very end. I know at one point the judge yelled at Trump's attorney, claiming that Bragg just wanted to put him in jail. I don't know what was wrong with that because it's the truth anyway. Where are we at? How do you think that all went down today?
From what I've heard, obviously I was not in the court, but from what I heard from the pundits and some who were in the court that took very good notes, it seems that it was, the defense did a great job. They diced and sliced Cohen. It seems like it'd be without his testimony being valid, then there's no proof as to the intent. And without intent, you cannot have conviction. And then that's just one aspect of, I think, of what they focused on. But I think at the attorney's pointing that out. This could result in possible jail time. This is, what we're looking at. I think that was a smart move. Even though they knew probably when they said it that the judge might clamor on it, but good move for them. The judge can say you cannot take that under consideration. Well, they just heard it.
It's too late. Already went in the ears. But go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I've heard a number of pundits, all but one, seem to have the belief that the most likely outcome is what I was pointing to, the most likely outcome, which is that it would be a hung jury, and the second probability would be an acquittal. There was one respected analyst who thinks it's going to be a guilty conviction because of who's sitting on the jury, and specifically because the final instructions that the judge will give to the jurors is going to be so biased and so tainted that he's very cynical that it's going to be fair and it's going to just sort of coach them into a guilty verdict because of his instructions, what he's going to be presenting. I can see the cynicism because we have an activist, an anti-Trump activist as judge who should have recused himself from day one. So we'll see what happens there. I do think it's interesting for the fact that what people need to be watching with regard to the jury is that if they come back, say, in one day, they just come back tomorrow and they say, Your Honor, we've got our verdict. That's a really good sign we're going to see an acquittal.
Really?
If it's quick like that, there's a very good chance we're going to see an acquittal. They're just going to meet with themselves and say, we can't convict. This guy's a crook. He's a liar. We can't do that. So the sooner the conviction, or the sooner they come back, if it's 1 day, maybe 2 days, that's a good sign that an acquittal is more likely. If it drags on a number of days, then it becomes less likely we're going to see an acquittal, and more likely we're going to see either a hung jury or a conviction. Once again, I'm in the camp that I still think a hung jury is the greatest probability, because I still would like to bet that of those jurors, there's likely going to be at least one with a conscience and a sensibilities, But once again, maybe I'm Mr. Optimist.
I love you, Brad, and I love you for that reason, though, because you're not giving up.
I just like to think that Manhattan, they choose a set of jurors like that. That surely they're not that corrupt on a massive scale. With regard to the people living there, that there's not just 1 out of 12. I mean, surely you're going to have at least some percentage in that town that have a conscience, that have character and conviction to do what's right and believe in equal treatment, equal protection under the law. Maybe, like I said, I'm optimistic. Maybe it is just thick with stench and corruption to the top. But we'll see what happens. But that's if he's convicted. Then I will stand corrected. And not only that, but I think many businesses will be leaving New York in droves for fear that they will be the next targeted by this lawfare regime.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. I think that, again, sitting there thinking about these people, but if they come up with a hung jury, Brad can go back to and prosecute it again, can he not?
True. He can. I think that he won't, though, because I think that there'll be people, many around him, who will say, don't do it, because if you do, it's going to only double down the political damage. And, Trump is only going to probably benefit at the end of the day. I mean, a poll came out, which was really interesting. It showed that if he's found guilty, 7% said that they're more likely not to vote for him. 24% said they're more likely to vote for him. The rest are unimpacted. So the worst case scenario, he's found guilty, there'll be an outrage by so many Americans who say we can't let this kind of outrageous tyranny happen. No, not in the United States of America, maybe in Cuba, maybe in Russia or China, not in the United States. We've got to end that corruption. We've got to change this administration. and the fact that they had a press conference. The Biden administration had the audacity, his campaign, to put on a press conference like this and say outrageous things. That to me is someone screaming and hollering right before he knows his ship's about to sink.
I agree with you. I'm giggling because I agree with you. I think, they're scrounging and scratching and begging, and they don't, to the point now where they don't know what to do. How is it that this guy keeps coming out on top? I don't understand. This is craziness. That's what's going through their head, right?
Right, exactly. This is not meeting their formula. This is their projections, their expectations, and all that their calculations. This is going completely divergent. And I have to admit, normally in history, if you have this kind of bombardment by district attorneys and political hacks like this, we'd expect a different outcome. But no, this time the American people wised up. They see it for what it is.
They're done.
Yeah.
I agree with you. They're just done. All right. Got to go for a quick commercial. We'll be back in a minute, folks. Don't go far. A lot more with Brad when we return. Do you have an American flag that was made everywhere else but America? Joe Messina here, host of the Joe Messina Show. I'm always asking you to buy items made in America whenever you can, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I own and fly an American flag made by Grace Alley, and I love it. I can hardly walk by it without saluting. Let's keep the unemployment rate low and buy American. Grace Alley flags are made right here in America by American workers. These embroidered flags are made well, and you'll be proud to fly them. Stop sending your money overseas. Keep it right here in America. These flags are fully endorsed by the U.S. government for all American flag requirements. You can find them on Amazon, eBay, and at gracealley.com. Get one for the house, the office, and your bedroom. Why not? Again, you can find them at Amazon, eBay, and gracealley.com. God bless you, and God bless everybody.
J&M Enterprises is a full-service screen printing company. They print on shirts, pants, hats, cups, frisbees, sports bags, sweatshirts, tote bags, and most any other promotional items. J&M has been family-owned and operated for over 25 years. J&M takes pride in providing high-quality products and services because we care. Our state-of-the-art equipment enables us to print high volume with superior quality on any job. We print on clothing lines for schools, businesses, sports teams, and bands nationwide. Our team is committed to total customer satisfaction and the quality you should expect from a professional screen printing company. J&M, family owned and operated. Give us a call. We guarantee a great product and a great price. 800-462-0002. For a price quote, 800-468-0002. Or go to the web at www.jnm.cc.
It's time for the Melissa's Produce Pick of the Week. Every week from the ordinary to the extraordinary, guaranteeing that the best and freshest global produce anywhere always comes from Melissa's. This is actually from my backyard. Just close your eyes and imagine the smell of a perfect strawberry. It's deeply jammy and it's got a little caramel hint and it's floral. It's like the best field fresh strawberry. And it comes from Harry's Berries, founded in Oxnard, California in 1967. They are organic, no chemical pesticides, and you get the deep red berry full of flavor every single time. They are available exclusively from Melissa's. So please order your Harry's Berries now. Go to melissas.com and you will find the best, the freshest global produce anywhere, especially Harry's Berries strawberries at the peak of their season now.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
You know this man.
Go ahead. Make my day.
We are back. Joe Senior host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855 Real Joe. 855-732-5563. Get involved. Get engaged. Be part of the solution. I want you part of the solution. It's the way we win. And you get informed. I bring on people that have a clue. Don't listen to me. I don't usually have a clue. Brad Dacus, founder of Pacific Justice Institute, joins me. And Brad, always appreciate your time with me. And let's tell people about Pacific Justice Institute, what they do, the great things that they're doing, and how they can help you.
Yeah, we're a legal organization that has a huge footprint across America, and we fight corruption from the government and from other entities that are attacking basic freedoms like our freedom of religion, the free exercise of religion, whether in the workplace, the public square, the schools. The sanctity of human life. We are taking on cases across the country, and including Governor Gavin Newsom of California, the tyranny, how he's trying to shut down pro-life women's clinics.
Yep.
And then we're going to bat for parents' rights, whether it's the public schools pushing things against parents without them knowing about it, grooming kids into sexual identity and gender issues without parents knowing about it, or fighting social workers and preventing children from being taken by leftist, zealous social workers that have an agenda at the expense of a child and taking that child from a wonderful, loving family. These are real issues all across the country. We do this all without charge. We have the largest network of attorneys, the largest number of offices across the United States, coast to coast, and especially in California. We have 6 offices there. We have 3 in New York, 3 in Washington State. And we're just committed to making sure that no one's left on the side of the road when it comes to these issues. And we do it all without charge. And if anyone would like to have more information, get our e-newsletter, keep up with our cases. We have over 220 in litigation right now. They just go to our website, pji.org, pji.org, and they can also support us with a tax-deductible donation as well.
Oh, cool. And look, people, I don't know if you missed the part where he said they do it for free, okay? You don't have to pay for it. They're willing to go in there. They're willing to protect you. They're willing to fight for you. I mean, you got to step up and do something. And I know that, it's a big deal, but $10 here, $10 there, whatever it is to help them, it does more than just the money. It lets them know that people are paying attention and see the good works that they're doing and that kind of stuff. So, you know what? Anything you can give is much appreciated. Seriously. At least that's how I see it. Anyway, Brad, always appreciate what you do. God bless you for what you're doing. And I know it never stops, does it?
No, it doesn't. Our cases are increasing and increasing. But the good news is we have more than a 90% success rate in our litigation. So we have many happy clients throughout the country, which is really rewarding.
Yeah, I look at this stuff sometimes, and I have to giggle because I'm watching wins all over the place. And I was doing this story earlier about Moms of Liberty, winning a case too. And it's like you're starting to see the tide turn. The woke stuff, the courts are not as happy with it. They're not putting up with it as much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. And, it is encouraging when we're seeing these victories. And the good thing is, because of President Trump's appointments, when he was in the White House for those 4 years. Those 3 Supreme Court justices, along with the many circuit court appointments, are giving us the kind of platform that we need to see justice and the Constitution respected like never before. So this is a very encouraging time. Despite the tyranny, we have great referees in our federal courts. Despite the tyranny we're seeing in some of these blue state courts and even just even non-blue state courts.
Yeah, again, it's because we keep fighting. It's I was talking to a friend of mine up in Sacramento the other day, and I said this earlier, that he was telling me they pass laws up there that they know are unconstitutional, and they bank on the fact that nobody's going to fight them, or by the time they fight them, they're too long and well established in their mind. And I just think that that's craziness. And it was never meant, I mean, for conversation's sake, it was never meant that the Supreme Court would take on as many cases as they are taking on, was it?
Oh, yes, very true, very true. It was, and yet they're overwhelmed with cases, and they have to, less than 1% are actually granted on the petition for certiorari made before the Supreme Court. But they are very busy, but the majority of them are very competent and intelligent. We got a couple on there that are I wouldn't put in that category, but the majority, including Kagan, are very bright and intelligent.
Well, you heard Sotomayor says that she goes back to her office after some of their rulings, and she just cries because she can't believe at some of the rulings the other ones are coming out with. So in other words, she's the only one that has a grasp on the Constitution. That's how I see it, is what she's basically saying, right?
Right, and when she says she cries, that's an incredible admission by her as to what drives her. She should look at it analytically. She shouldn't look at these cases with personal passions, but she should look at it objectively, and purely, based on the law, based on the strict construction of the Constitution and statutes, original intent. This shouldn't be an agenda or my side or my feelings. And unfortunately, that's what we see in some of these bad justices' decisions in the past. It often comes down to personal feelings, and that's why she's one of the justices that really I don't think she should be on the court. The latest appointment also is clearly not qualified. If she can't define what a woman is, then I really don't think that she should have been appointed either. But the other 7, including Kagan, even though Kagan is not someone who I think rules the right way, I do see a bona fide effort on her part to look at the law and try to apply case law, and I will give her credit for that, even though she's seemingly not always ruling correctly, in my opinion.
There is something that seems to be happening, and I don't quite understand it, where recently I think it was Sotomayor, Ellen Kagan, and Ketanji Jackson Brown sat out of a decision for Brunson versus Sotomayor. They were all named as defendants in the case, which is interesting. But I've been doing some reading, and technically they didn't necessarily have to sit out of those cases, but they did. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that case in particular.
Yeah. If you are cited as a defendant or a plaintiff, then there's definitely a conflict of interest for them to be ruling on such a case like that, and that's probably one of the most extreme examples of a time when a judge should step down. I mean, should recuse themselves,
right,
from the ruling on that case.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's just kind of interesting. I went and did a little bit more looking, and I saw that in the Mac Trong versus Abbott case, it was a Texas Heartbeat Act. There were a couple of justices there that kind of hung back. You know?
Yeah, and there are times when they need to do that, but in most situations, it's they don't have to. Now, the case dealing with President Trump's judge in his trial, that's outrageous. The political bias is blatant, and what's worse is it was so clearly manifest throughout the trial. And the big concern, once again, is that bias is going to be manifest in the final jury instructions, and that's what we're really watching, real concerned about, is because that can be a make or break on the outcome of a trial. Is just simply how the judge instructs the jury. That's what we're watching, and that's something we all need to be praying about. That the jury will get good instructions and fair instructions.
Well, and if he doesn't, and they say they come down with a guilty verdict, I mean, they don't just usher him off to jail, do they? Well,
it's possible. It is possible. Not probable, but it is possible.
All right. We got to go for a quick break. Be back in a minute. Don't go far. A lot more coming up with Brad Dacus, founder of Pacific Justice Institute, when we return.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code USA, or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com, promo code USA.
You've been working hard, doing the right thing, and paying your taxes, and putting your hard-earned money in the Medicare piggy bank all your life. And now it's time to break the piggy bank and get something back. Medicare. If you didn't know it, Medicare is health insurance for people over 65, and you paid for it with your tax dollars. Medicare plans
will be under house arrest.
Ever. That's good news, especially if you're like me and looking forward to paying as little as possible for good health insurance. Call and find out what Medicare plan is best for you. Save your time. It's valuable. We've already done the research for you, and in one quick phone call, you can learn how to get the best Medicare plan designed exactly for you. Hey, it's one of the most important decisions in your life. Let us help you through it. Here's our number. Call 65 Plus Medicare now. 800-778-8214. 800-778-8214. That's 800-778-8214.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Deutsch, and if you or your business owe money to the IRS, I've got great news for you. Tax laws have changed. Billions of dollars are earmarked for IRS Fresh Start programs, and if you qualify, you can literally save tens of thousands of dollars. Listen, I know what you're going through. Call me if you want to speak with a tax attorney or tax professional for free.
800-284-9275. That's 800-284-9275.
Attention timeshare owners. Tired of the financial stress? Were you misled by the salesperson? Don't or can't use your timeshare anymore? If any of these apply to you, then you may qualify for timeshare cancellation and get the relief you need now. Timeshare Defense Attorneys is the #1 affordable fixed-fee legal solution in the country, with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. That's certainly better than my grades. They even offer a 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Let one of their experienced lawyers evaluate your case and explain the process. If they take you as a client, they'll work on your case until it's resolved in your favor, guaranteed. Expect great service and a close working relationship with your lawyer, keeping you informed every step of the way, protecting your rights, interests, and even your credit. It's that simple. Even a kid like me can understand it. The consultation is free. Call today.
800-875-1853. 800-875-1853. That's 800-875-1853. Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-504-1123. 800-504-1123. 800-504-1123. That's 800-504-1123.
Attention small business owners. This could be the most important 10-minute call you will ever make. You could recover up to $26,000 per employee today. And all you have to do is make one short 10-minute call to take your business up a notch or bounce back from these difficult couple of years. Omega Accounting Solutions can help you recover any payroll tax overpayments you made during the pandemic. You may even be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. All it takes is a quick, easy, free 10-minute ERC consultation to determine if you qualify. Omega is the small business champion with teams dedicated to maximizing tax credits. They know their stuff so well that CPAs and payroll companies even turn to Omega for ERC tax guidance. Call 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9ERC. 1-800-300-9ERC. Or visit OmegaTaxCredit.com.
This is your opinion?
It's a fact.
We are back. Joe Massino, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged. Truly be part of the solution. You don't want to be part of the problem, really, people. You know, that requires you getting informed and sticking it in your head and knowing that it's true. And again, you can turn people over a period of time. You can turn people, but you got to turn them with fact. If you don't have... If you keep feeding them misinformation, even if it's by accident, you're going, you know what, I thought that was right. It's not. After a while, they're not going to listen to you at all. Don't let that happen. Right? Make sure you have your information correct and do it that way. Anyway, okay, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. Brad Dacus, founder of Pacific Justice Institute, joins me as he does every week to kind of give us some insight on what's going on in the legal world, what's going on with your legal rights. You're doing what you can to hold on to them. Seriously. Oh, Brad. Hey, I don't know if you heard the, the Department of the Interior, whatever it was, wasn't going to allow the Knights of Columbus to have their Memorial Day Mass at a, again, this is not the first time they've tried this before. And what was it? Was it 32 years they had been doing it?
Right.
And,
for a long time.
Yeah, and no more religious. Somebody had said that they were coming with a policy with no more religious activities on public property, but there's no way they can get away with that, right?
Right. In fact, the courts made it. The Supreme Court, in a number of case law, has made it very clear that what the government allows for non-religious groups, sectarian use, non-sectarian, they have to allow for religious groups to use.
Right.
And so that's why that's a very poor decision, and why at the end of the day, the Knights of Columbus, I believe, will prevail.
I think they already did. I think it was whatever the department that handles that said, where's my mistake? It's okay. Come on back. I'm sitting there scratching my head going, why does it always have to get to that in order to fix it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And mind you, if the Knights of Columbus didn't stand up to it, then there would have been no reversal. They would have just said, "Oh, okay, good. Yeah, we can bully these religious groups like Knights of Columbus." So standing up to them is very important, and it's so basic and fundamental. We at Pacific Justice Institute, we can't file a lawsuit unless we have someone as a plaintiff willing to stand up to it that's being impacted. It's so important. There were 5 churches that we defended in Santa Clara County, San Jose area, against the lockdown of the churches, the shutting down of all the churches.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
synagogues.
right. Yep.
Well, what I found out is a much larger number of churches in the whole area were contacted and asked to be plaintiffs. Only 5 said yes, we'll respond. Yes, we'll be plaintiff. The rest of them were cowards.
Oh yeah.
Sheepish cowards is what the churches were, and they were contacted. No, we don't want to be a part of it. No, it's controversial. We just want to please our members and please the government, and it's shameful. It's disgraceful to think that only 5 were willing to stand up to that tyranny, a tyranny, not a light tyranny, a tyranny that was keeping them closed from doing what God commanded them to do, which is not forsake the congregating together. So, it's those who stand up. They're the heroes, and we just defend the heroes who have that conviction.
Oh, and it's getting tougher and tougher and tougher in some of these churches because they're frankly and honestly, and I'll blame it somewhat on the pastors, but the congregants don't understand the Word of God. They don't understand what the Word of God teaches. They don't understand that you are supposed to stand. It doesn't matter that you make people mad. I mean, I think Jesus, last I read, made a lot of people mad, didn't he?
Oh, yes. And the reason is because he stood for truth in love, but he stood for truth. And it's so important. One simple thing that churches can do, and it's nonpartisan, non-political, is just have a voter registration Sunday. They don't have to do it every Sunday, but maybe like this 4th of July, have a voter registration Sunday, have a voter registration table in the back of their church after the service, in the patio, wherever. That's a real basic thing that they can do to encourage and make sure that their flock are registered, and hopefully, if the preaching has been accurate according to Scripture, they'll be voting righteously and biblically as well. If the pastor has, not just shunned away from all the issues that God's Word applies to, then they should have good voters. But that's a real basic. And when I see pastors saying, well, no, I think that might be offensive if people have a voter registration, they might think we're political. I'm going to be real timid and sheepish. I've talked to pastors with that attitude, and I will tell you, it is very frustrating because to me it shows weakness and a lack of character and a lack of conviction to do what's right versus to be obsessed with possibly offending someone in your congregation. That's a very weak pastor and a very weak church.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. When you're worried about upsetting, because, again, I told you I had a group of pastors that did something here locally where I live, and it had to do with Unplanned, that the abortion movie, the pro-life movie, I should call it. And we actually I was there when one couple came up, but they actually had people come up and say, why are we doing this political move in the church? Which tells me they've been brainwashed to believe that abortion is a political issue, not a God issue.
Right. Yeah. God established it as a God issue long before the United States was the United States. They made it a political issue, but it's first a God issue, a biblical issue, a righteousness issue, and a loving issue. But you're right. It's often misinformation. That misinformation goes back once again to the elders of a church, to the pastor of a church, and the extent to which they do not apply the Word of God to the issues of the day. The Apostle Paul, in his letters to the Corinthians and to the letters of the churches, he didn't steer away from issues of controversy. No, he hit them head on.
Oh, yeah.
Very much head on, because he knew that was what he needed to do. He needed to give them truth so that they could grow in righteousness and do what's right and fulfill their calling. And yet, that's what pastors need to do. need to look at the issue, and they need to not run away from it, but apply. I do a lot of guest preaching at churches. And when I preach at a church, often what I will assess is,
Hey,
not
do
what
they ever
to
shut
hear.
your mic off?
Not yet. But I ask myself, not what they want to hear, but what do they need to hear as applied from the Word of God, and that's what I'll focus on from the scriptures. And I think that's what we need to see more of in churches. Good news, though, Joe, is that if there's people out there listening to this and they'd like their church to have a voter registration Sunday, either 4th of July or whatever, we can make it very easy. Pacific Justice Institute on our website. They just click for the churches, churches, click that button on our website, pji.org, pji.org. Click that, and we have all the information there. We make it very easy. We'll talk to your pastor. We'll make it happen if they'd like to have that happen, all without charge.
They'll enlighten your pastor. How's that?
Yeah, you're right. We have to enlighten them first. But,
it's just amazing to me that these issues that they don't understand, they don't know. Hey, somebody's been asking me pretty much on a weekly basis, the January 6th prisoners or whatever, political prisoners, whatever you want to call them, many of them have really still not had their day in court. And the way they're being held in solitary confinement, this is still true and real. Why can't we change this? What is the problem? Isn't there any way to get the Supreme Court to engage?
Yeah, these cases can be. Well, those that have had their trial, they can appeal it. They can also file, if they haven't had their trial yet, they can file a writ for seeking a speedy trial. I mean, that is a constitutional right. You can't keep someone just behind bars indefinitely. That's our Constitution prevents that. At least it's supposed to. So that's something else that they could appeal. They'd file a writ for the higher court to review that. Unfortunately, we have not seen the kind of positive results from such attempts that I would have thought. The bottom line is there's so many innocent people. I know an innocent man didn't step a foot on the Capitol steps, and he was on an email, a thread where people are talking about different things. And because he didn't respond, he was assumed to agree with what one of the people in the thread said, someone he never even knew, never even met. And because of that, he's now, right now as we speak, behind bars.
Wow.
So this is a witch
hunt. Something
hunt.
He didn't say.
Right. This is a witch hunt by this administration, the Biden administration. And if it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone listening to this broadcast right